So I think we're going to start, even though there is the Columbia rule of starting 15 minutes late, we're going to, in honor of the visiting committee, start 10 minutes late. And I just want to introduce Terry Allers, and he'll introduce his team to you, and they're going to explain what they've learned about the school over the last 4 days or so. And just to let you know that this is not like, there's not questions afterwards. They are just telling you what they have learned and what they are going to report. And this is a chance for you to hear it early. But it's not, and it is a chance to sort of look in the mirror in a certain sense, but there's not going to be questions afterwards. And just to say from the side of the school that it's been an incredibly rigorous process, and in a sense very difficult for both sides, because the visiting team is obliged to assess 1 million different criteria. They've checked off the 1 million different boxes, and we all know, and maybe it's an arrogance, that architectural education is an incredibly multidisciplinary synthetic activity. So almost by definition, if you make a list of the kind of things that are relevant in architectural education, it tends to be larger than the list you'd make for any other field, which means for an accreditation team a much more complex activity, which involves checking each individual thing, but then the way they synergize. Being architects, they know how to do that because that's all we do, you could say. It's still a really, really impressive task, and I think that the way they communicated throughout these 4 days and maintained their privacy while also being in touch with almost all of you was really splendid. So just sort of giving our report on you before you give your report on us. It was very good, and not knowing quite what's going to be said next. And because of that reason, just to thank everybody that was so unbelievably helpful in putting this thing together. But I give you Terry and
everybody. That was good morning. My name is Terry Allers, and I was the chair of the team, the NAAB visitation team. And just a little bit, I'll let everybody else introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about themselves. This is my 4th visit, first time as chair in the last 4 years. And I represent NCARB, the accrediting organization. I'm on my state architectural board. I'm president right now, board. I'm also involved in the region, and I'm running for the regional director position, which will be a national board position next year. I have a small firm in Iowa. It's about 7 people, and I live in a town of about 25,000. And I enjoy architecture, and when I heard about coming to Columbia, I was very excited. This seems like a really great opportunity for me, and I'm even more excited to give you the report today. But we'll go ahead and have everyone else introduce themselves.
Oh, okay. My name is Andrew Chin. I'm the interim dean at the School of Architecture at Florida A&M University, and I guess like Terry, I was excited, but for 2 different reasons. I'm a graduate of the University of Florida, so it's nice to come to a place with a lot of UF alums. Didn't get to see many here, but also it's nice to somewhat come home because I'm from Long Island. So, thank you.
I'm Christine West. I'm a practicing architect from Providence, Rhode Island. I'm here representing the AIA, the American Institute of Architects. I was a previous state chapter president, but I've been doing accreditation visits for about 20 years now, and I was doing Brent's job at that point.
And I'm Brent Castro, as Christine said. I'm the National Vice President of the American Institute of Architecture Students, which is a full-time job for a year in Washington, D.C. They've already found my replacement, and it's over in August, but I'm not going to think about that. This is my 2nd accreditation visit, and it's been an absolute joy to be here, to come to Columbia and really be thrown into your kind of academic environment, especially being a student that just graduated last May. I come here and I look at your pedagogical atmosphere and relate it back to mine, and there are things that I'm thankful for that I went through in my own education, but there's also things that I'm extremely jealous of. So it's been a joy, and thank you.
I'm Michael Manfredi. I'm a partner at Weiss Manfredi Architects, and I teach at other institutions. I would only say I know so many of you. It's sort of odd to be here, but actually quite wonderful to see the school in ways that I had not been able to see before. And so it's actually been a real privilege.
Thank you. What I'm going to do today is just give you a summary of the points that we wanted to share with you. The full report will be published later in the year after the NAAB board has reviewed our report. We do not make the final decision. Our report will be given to them, and then they'll make the final decision on the accreditation period. The first item, the four things that I'm going to talk about, or the three things I'm going to talk about today are the team comments and visit summary, the conditions not met, the causes of concern, and then the conditions that are met with distinction. I guess that is four. First item. I'm going to read from this so that everybody hears the same thing. Team comments and visit summary. The team thanks the administration, faculty, staff, and students for their generous hospitality and extensive preparation for the visit. In this institution, the position of the dean is a powerful catalyst for the evolution of the school. Dean Wigley is respected and widely recognized as an effective leader and innovator. The program has found innovative ways to integrate its research mission into the architectural pedagogy. There is a very engaged faculty and student body with an increasing level of alumni participation and support. Sorry. The school sees its mission as advancing and broadening the discipline of architecture. The Studio X program, which is a series of community engagements/studios on several continents, demonstrates the school's commitment to global engagement. The technology sequence is grounded in opportunities of construction and demonstrates that students' ability to address complex systems. Conditions not met. SPC, which stands for Students' Performance Criteria, 8.4, Technical Documentation. This is a student performance criteria for ability. It's ability to make technically clear drawings, write outline specifications, and prepare models, illustrating and identifying the assembly of materials, systems, and components appropriate for a building design. The team assessment. As in the 2007 visiting team report, this team did not find evidence of writing of outline specifications in any student work or assignment. The topic of specifications is discussed in a lecture in A4560, Professional Practice, but the team found no evidence to demonstrate the required level of ability. The team found evidence of wall section models prepared by students in A4111, Architectural Technology 1. The rudimentary level of craft in these models was not consistent with the clarity and sophistication of computer-enabled graphics throughout the program, including details, technical diagrams, and other architectural drawings. The second condition not met was SPC B.7. This has to do with financial considerations, and it's an understanding. It's understanding of the fundamentals of building costs, such as acquisition cost, project financing and funding, financial feasibility, operational costs, and construction estimating, with an emphasis on life cycle cost accounting. No evidence was found in any student coursework. That's the team assessment. And the final condition not met is SPC B.11. Building service systems integration. This is an understanding of the basic principles and appropriate application and performance of building service systems such as plumbing, electrical, vertical transportation, security, and fire alarm systems. The team assessment. The team did not find any evidence of student work demonstrating understanding of fire protection, plumbing, electrical, and security systems. Although coursework integrating mechanical systems is extremely comprehensive, there is no evidence except for a single lecture in the A4112 course with no associated exam questions or assignments. The causes for concern had to do with both the two SPCs that I read, A.4 and B.7, and that was because they were also mentioned on the 2007 report. And one final cause of concern was active development of studio culture policy. In practice, the GSAPP has a very productive, advanced, collaborative, and continuous educational environment. There is evidence that faculty, students, administration, and staff encourage values of optimism, respect, sharing, engagement, and innovation within the college. The team did not find the mandated information in the APR that students understand the purpose of the mandated studio culture document, have plans for measurable assessments, or participate in the development of these policies on an ongoing evolution. The student culture policy document does not address health-related issues such as time management. Now the conditions met with distinction. First one is 1.3.3, faculty credentials. Sorry about this. The second one is A.11, applied research. The third one is B9, structural systems. And the final one is B10, building envelope systems. That completes our official report. So I'd like to have everyone give some summary of their visit.
Oh, oh, okay. Let's just start this end. Okay. I think on the, I think at first glance, the visits, the event of the visit is often looked at as a grading or I think it's misread. I think the real purpose or the real value of the event really to the school, to NAAB, to the participants is it offers a time of reflection. I think that when people are running a race, they don't want to stop and look at their watch to see what their time is. But I think without this event, the school never stops, puts its work up, and looks at itself. So I would encourage all the students to look at everything that's pinned up and have conversations with yourselves and use it as another learning moment and as a point of just kind of reflection to see what the school is and what nooks and crannies are going on here that you aren't even aware of. Sometimes you're not aware of all of the moving parts within such a great place. I think for NAAB, it's an opportunity to stop and reflect on its own process and to look at what it's asking schools to be. And if we didn't bring 4 or 5 points of view, that wouldn't happen and it would never be a conversation. But I also want to say thank you, because I think even for participants as a administrator, someone who shuffles paper, who, it's nice to come to a place and see the way things are supposed to be and learn by example on how to have certain kinds of outcomes. So I just want to say thank you for your time and the opportunity.
I'd just like to leave you with a general impression. The practice of architecture is wonderful because everybody who attempts it has the potential to make a mark on our environment and the world at large. What I find magic about this institution is it's not only that potential, it's expected that you're going to make that mark, and you're going to make it in a very important way. What I find comforting about our visit here is that I believe now that you will do this with a sense of altruism, a sense of caring and concern for the well-being of others, with a sense of developing meaning, and with a technical rigor. So I applaud you for that, and thanks for all your hard work.
So again, this visit has been really interesting for me. it's been really interesting being a part of this process because I'm 24 years old. I just graduated from college, and it kind of reaffirms my hope for our generation coming here and seeing your story, and for the future. And I said this yesterday during the student meeting that our generation, the millennials, have been described as a heroic generation, that we're going to use that as this kind of catalyst for change to be able to challenge everything, and it brings me great joy. So I'm going to be really simple and kind of leave you with kind of a summation of my visit. There's this great excerpt from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, and Through the Looking Glass, where Alice is about to fight the Jabberwocky. Sorry, I'm kind of cheesy. Alice, she dictates that this is impossible. The Hatter turns to her and says, "Only if you believe it is." Alice then says, "Well, I think of almost 6 impossible things before breakfast." And the Hatter responds that is an excellent practice. So, thank you.
Good. Well, I'll touch on a few things that don't show up in this massive NAAB checklist that I think are really important to mention, and important to me both as an architect and a teacher. One is the importance of nurturing peripheral vision. I think the school is exceptional at that, and I can't think of an attribute that is more critical to architectural learning than this sort of sense of being aware of what's not right in front of you. The second is the value, or valuing, your intellectual capital, and that capital is obviously in a distinguished faculty, but it's also, I think, evident in an incredibly articulate and dynamic student body. It's also evident in the staff, which is actually quite surprising and not necessarily always the case, sadly, in other schools of architecture. And then finally, I would commend you on the school's ability to nurture ambition. I don't think I have to say this about the faculty, but I think what I really loved is talking to students who have a very, very high level of ambition, because I think that's the other characteristic that NAAB doesn't quite, maybe for the better, doesn't quite address, that to me is crucial to architectural education. So congratulations and thank you.
And I'll just wrap it up by saying I've truly enjoyed this visit. The reason I do this is to stay in touch with the academia part of the architectural profession, and it was a very eye-opening visit this time. Very excited about what I see in the students and the faculty and the administration, and I really appreciate everything that was done for us during this visit. So thank you very much.
Get to work.
Good job, everybody.
Hey, thank you for chairing what was, I think, a very intense and really pleasurable experience.
It was.
Oh, no, I guess we're not supposed to say
I was excited when I heard this before I was going.